I've played games you people wouldn't believe. Imports off the Sega Saturn. And fighters on the PlayStation 2. I want more reviews, gamer. Cool emoji says, watch the fancy action now because it is the most edifying experience that you'll ever have in your post-academic life. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is El Viejo Toro of the Fancy Action Now, and we are here for an eBay seller review. It's a very exciting review. I have an eBay package here. Yes, I have breached the package. I didn't live breach it because I always like to check and make sure it's, it is what it's supposed to be. So here it is. Here is this beautiful eBay package, and this is one part eBay seller review and one part pickup. But it's more of an eBay seller review because I get quite often from this seller, and I've always been pleased with the price and the presentation and the packaging and everything else. So we will reveal, I'm going to reach into this package, I'm going to reach on in, and I'm going to pull out their business card. This is Retro Saikou. And let me see, what does it say? Something imports, Japanese imports, okay. So it's Retro Saikou. Retro Saikou. The word retro and Sai is S-A-I-K-O-U. I highly recommend all of my collector friends, retro gamers, video gamers in general, to go out to Retro Saikou. This is a great place if you want to pick up a Famicom, a Super Famicom. If you want to pick up some of those obscure import titles for the Xbox and or for the PS2, which is what we have here. We have some import PS2s, and as you know, for any fans of my channel, you know that I recently got a import Japanese gold Gundam PS2 with double gold controllers. I still love that thing. So anyway, and I've collected a tiny little niche Japanese import collection of PS2s. But I'm still looking, and that's the great thing about this hobby, is that you have this huge domestic collection, particularly in like Xbox or PS2. PS2's collection is huge domestically. There's this whole other world of imports for the Saturn, for the NES and Super Famicom, for just about any system that you can imagine. There's this whole other world, this whole other alternate dimension of gaming, and there's some high weirdness and some uniqueness and some intense quality. You know that the Japanese take their video games more, the only group of people on this planet, the only culture on this planet that takes video games more seriously than the United States is Japan. I mean, they take their stuff seriously. So there's some unbelievable stuff. And, I've acquired somewhat of a journeyman's knowledge of import games. But I'm like blown away by what I don't know. And I think that's the sign. That's what's exciting about our hobby, is that, man, okay, I got into Saturn import collecting. I know what the highlights are. I know the niche games I want. I know the out of reach, out of touch. Maybe I go repro, or maybe I go emulator for the ones that I just can't. I can't come off of $1,200 for a copy of Eliminate Down, or something like that. So it's one of those things that you can get into that and you can gain that journeyman's knowledge. I won't say expert knowledge, but I would say like a journeyman's knowledge. And then there's a whole nother, you just go to a different system and there's this whole other universe of titles. Like, go to NES imports, Sega Saturn imports, Dreamcast imports, original Xbox imports. There's titles that came out for the original Xbox in Japan that never came out over here. And there's some really interesting titles in that little family, you know, or large family, you know. Xbox is littler. It's more niche-y, but, you know, that makes it even more enticing. Then you go to the PS2. The PS2 import scene is humongous. You go into the PS3. Again, humongous import collection of the PS3. And the PS3 did very well in Japan. Much better than the Xbox did, or the Xbox 360 did in Japan. So there's a huge hidden collection over there of just weirdness, gems, niche games, strangeness, like the train simulators, you know, like the Densha to Go and stuff like that. I mean, just really, that's kind of niche-y, but there's other cool stuff. There's fighting games that came out over there that never came out over here. If you're a fighting fan, I mean, again, Radical Reggie, I recommend Radical Reggie for PlayStation imports. He's got a huge knowledge, a huge collection. He's done a lot of work. He especially focuses on fighting games, but then he also likes, you know, some of the survival horror stuff and some of the nichier stuff. But he likes fighters, he likes shooters. So he's really at the core, and he likes a lot of the RPGs as well, a lot of the niche RPGs and stuff like that. So he's willing to dive into that. The other guy that I'm going to recommend to you is a channel called RetroCore. RetroCore had a series. He's got a fighting game series where he takes every single fighting game on the Saturn, which is my favorite series of his, and he reviews every single one. And the majority of them did not. A lot of them did not come out over here. They're the import scene. So he does the entire fighting collection for the Sega Saturn, which is over 60 titles. And it is in 4 or 5 parts. It's an amazing series. I highly recommend it. But he does a lot of the Japanese import retro scene, and he lives in Japan. He was educated in England, I believe, because he's got a British accent. And he lives in Japan. So, I mean, fantastic. So, you know, you kind of get the best of all perspectives from RetroCore, and he's got a cool channel. I like his channel. So, you know, but when you're hunting them, you know, and the funny thing is about retro is a lot of the games that are outrageously expensive over here are more reasonable in Japan. So if you're willing to deal with either the language barrier or whatever, a lot of times, as I said before, games have additional content or different content, different characters in Japan than their American counterparts. And in many instances, the game only came out in Japan. So it's one of those things where there are some super, super gems. So if you want to acquire them, this is a good place. Their prices are good. Their service is outstanding. It is Retro Saikou. Retro Saikou. Highly recommend them. They are one of the few eBay sellers that I follow. You can count on one hand, and I have a couple fingers left on how many eBay sellers I actually follow. This was the first one I ever follow and continue to follow, is Retro Saikou, so high praise. Now, with that being said, Retro Saikou, Retro Saikou, Retro Saikou. With that being said, let's pull out these titles, and I want you to, okay, so this is how it came, right? Very nice, padded, and you'd expect at least that, right? And a lot of times you get this with a little game stuck in and call it a day, and you're all right with that. But no, we're going to go into Retro Saikou, and they've added an additional bag. So it's a double padded bag, and this is quite often how I receive these. Double padded, double padded. This came exceptionally fast. Now he is Retro Saikou in Alachua, Florida. So he is a Florida guy. I live in Florida, so that is awesome. Man, maybe I'll go visit his warehouse and get a super crazy discount. Retro Saikou in Alachua. And that's probably why it came so flippin' fast, because it literally came in like 2 days. It was like Amazon Prime. It came that fast. So I have my little packing slip right here. Very nice. So it's a domestic supplier. You don't have to wait for the slow boat from Japan to get here or pay outrageous air fee or a huge, huge shipping fee. Let's see. Yep. Super nice. So I ordered it on the 8th, and we're sitting here on the 11th, and I've had it for at least a day. I mean, it literally was like almost, I don't know if it was next day, but it was like no more than 2 days. So here we have another beautiful package. Now you might be happy with just that. You might be happy with just, okay, wow, he double packaged it. Then you pull it out. Each game has its own plastic sleeve. Again, I don't know anybody else other than an actual Japan seller that goes through this care. And it's not shipping from Japan, it's shipping domestically. But he takes an exceptional care in, again, it's an individual sleeve. And these games, it wasn't like I ordered $50 games here. Okay? These are very reasonable games. One is like $10, and I believe one is $15. But they are imports, and I want you to look at the quality. I want you to look at the quality of that. Just the packaging, but even the condition of the games. The condition of the games is exceptional. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this third layer of protection for these items. Wow. Wow, beautiful. And I'm going to save these because I may, if I ever send anything out to anybody, I may reuse them. So here is Namco versus Capcom. Now the fighters are popular. A lot of times they come out. I don't know if there's this. I don't know if this exists domestically, or maybe it came over in a different form. I don't know. But what I do know is that you get an exceptional product from Retro Saikou. But this looks exciting to me. It's a Namco fighter. Man, I've been getting into the Namco light gun shooters. I'm getting back into Namco. Namco used to be one of my favorite. Like if Namco made it, I just bought it, and that was cool. So it looks very good, and it's very much in that Arc System Works style where you pull a move and a big version, a big silhouette of your character or a big profile of your character comes out and has some sort of reaction or something like that. So I love that kind of stuff. But you've got really cool. You've got Namco, gun guys from their shooters, from their light gun games, and you've got all kinds of familiar characters here. Of course you have Chun-Li and all that, but then you've got Sir Arthur and Darkstalkers here, and you just got so many cool characters. I'm anxious to pop it in and get a look at it. The next one, again, I'm going to extract it from its wonderful third layer protection sleeve. It's like taking out a comic book, a collectible comic, with the store owner going, "Don't touch it, don't finger it, don't touch it too much." Melty Blood. Act Cadenza. I don't know if I've ever acted Cadenza before, but this is the Cadenza Axe Melty Blood. Melty Blood, as many of you will know, is an anime. Ah, God, this is a cherry copy. Even the case is just immaculate. Just look at it. Oh my God, dude. Fantastic. Fantastic. Melty Blood is an anime. This is an anime fighter. And Soft Deck. This other game's got Soft Deck working on it. It's an anime fighter, and it's a good one. Again, in the style, I don't think Arc System Works worked on this, but it's in the style of many of the Arc System Works fighters. So, wow, Melty Blood. It is a beautiful, shiny, well-preserved copy. All right, fantastic. I'm anxious to throw these in and do a little fighter PS2 import fighter video for you guys. I'm going to put it back in its second layer of protection there, both of these titles. And I'm going to call it a day and wrap this up. But man, Hit the nail again. Retro Saikou. Extremely pleased with the condition of my purchase, the speed of receipt, just the condition of the product itself. You know, a lot of times there's, you know, you get something, you order it on eBay, you try to, you know, scrutinize those photos as much as you can. They don't have a lot of photos. They do have good photos on their items, but this is what I'm saying is it exceeded my expectation, perception of the condition of these games, and they're so well cared for that it's just as a collector it's amazing. They definitely get the respect that they deserve. So Retro Saikou, this has been my recommendation, unboxing, review of Retro Saikou and the PlayStation Fighter import scene, PlayStation 2. So stay tuned for more excitement. 2018 is going to be a bumpy ride. Sit down, strap in, shut up, and hold on. Fancy action now. Longevity, morphology, incept dates. Tell me where I can find the fancy action now. I've played games you people wouldn't believe. Imports off the Sega Saturn. Fighters on the PlayStation 2. Time enough for the fancy action now.